there, you're watching QTV and welcome to this special broadcast on the Gambia Revenue Authority. So if you've been following us for the past weeks, every Tuesday we have officials from the Gambia Revenue Authority here to educate you on different things, you know, the mandate of the Gambia Revenue Authority and this particular project, which is the ITAS that the Gambia Revenue Authority is about to implement, which has several components, which has been mentioned. So because today we're wrapping up this particular hour every Tuesday, we'll just give you a rundown of what the ITAS is, you know, what it seeks to achieve and the different components of it. We just hope that this is not going to be the final G.R.A talk show. I'm sure they'll be joining us again because it's been quite impactful. So I hope that there will be continuity when it comes to this. So this week, I'm just maintaining my guest from last week, Auntie Mati, Mrs. Mati G.R.A Senghor, who is the Deputy Director Compliance and Tax Education Technical Service Department. Also, I'm here with Mr. Henry Mendy, who is the Manager Compliance and Taxpayers Education Technical Services Department. But also, Mr. Sar is on his way to join us here from who is the Tax Manager Headquarters Functions, Domestic Tax Department. He's on his way due to traffic here and there. I'm sure he'll be here in a moment to also join us wrap up this particular program. So, Auntie Mati, thank you so much for joining us on the program. And Mr. Mendy, it's good to have you here once again. So, like I mentioned in the introduction, today we're just trying to wrap up everything, you know, when it comes to the ITAS, ensuring that we remind the viewers of this very, very important project, which is funded by the World Bank for the Gambia Revenue Authority. So just to ask Auntie Mati, what does the ITAS generally seek to achieve?
Okay, like you said, good evening, viewers. We are happy to be back with this taxpayer education program dedicated to the new ITAX system, which we will implement in this year, 2024, by the fourth quarter. And like we said in the beginning of the show, the ITAX, which is the Integrated Tax Management System, is the system that is supposed to replace the current system, which is the GAM-TaxNet, that is currently being used for the Domestic Taxes Department to mobilize domestic tax revenue. So the reason for the implementation of the ITAX is that because we did an assessment way back in 2018, and then this was conducted jointly with the IMF or the AfriTax West too, and then it made an assessment of some of the taxes that and the process and procedures of collecting these taxes, and then from that study it was recommended that we need to replace the GAM-TaxNet and replace it with a more robust system that can accommodate the e-services. The e-services include the e-registration for taxes, e-filing for returns filing, and e-payment, and other services that will be automated to enhance paying taxes very easy for our taxpayers. And some of the associated benefits will be like reducing the burden of taxpayers in the process of trying to pay taxes. Right. So this is the reason why we are implementing the ITAX. You will recall that in 2022 June we implemented the Asikuda Wall. That was also a replacement of the Asikuda Plus Plus, which we have been using for international trade, the collection of customs and custom duties. So this is also a web-based system at the Asikuda Wall, which enable importers to clear their goods very fast. The ITAX is also going to be a web-based, which can be accessed remotely when you have internet connection. So the G.R.A is all the time trying to reflect on way and means of making paying taxes easier for our taxpayers.
Yeah. So, Mr. Mendy, we're also aware that, you know, eventually there's a company, technology company, that has been, you know, contracted to actually develop the several components that will be existing technologically for the use of, this particular ITAS that we are talking about, can you just brief us as well when it comes to that, the different components that will exist through this particular company that has been contracted to do so?
Yeah, it's a Canadian company that has bidded. It was a transparent process placed on government website and also on this funding agency website, World Bank. And they got the contract, Sojima, from Canada. They've done it in more than 24, 27 countries, some in Africa, some outside. Now they will build the system together with our IT department. It's not going to be an isolated process. The business process is already built. It is based on that business process, business engineering process, that will show if you want to file, if you want to register tax type, the process that you're going to take, they will build it according to that. So they've signed the contract, and the work will soon start in building it gradually. The first phase will be on e-filing, registration, and an e-payment component.
Right.
Then later on, 2025, then the other bit will come where you can also file for refunds and others. And then at the end, 2026, the last module will then take care of the audit bit of it and so on. So it's a gradual process, and it will be done with our staff gradually, so that when they finish and hand over, the IT department will be able to run together with our tax people to run the
system. So it means there will be training for homegrown individuals.
Yeah, whilst they are building it, they are doing it together with the IT department.
Okay.
The
so
IT
it doesn't
unit.
mean we'll be depending on the company after,
No.
the entire phases.
No.
Yeah,
Just like as a Kuda wall was done,
Yes.
it will be the same thing similar to this one too.
The ITAS, yes.
Already, like the project has the project committee is comprised of the technical committee, which is mainly the IT staff, and then you have the functional team, which is the domestic taxes department staff plus the change management team. So that they form the functional team. So when the developers are doing developing the system, like Henry just said, already we've reviewed the business process that we have been using, and then the current business process, like what we want the ITAX to do, is the current BPR has been developed and approved. So these contractors, the Sojima, will use the business process to develop the system according to that approved BPR. So already our team, which is the functional and the IT team, they are receiving a lot of training so that they can manage the system. And together with the experts, the Sojima group, when they are building the system, it's going to be jointly developed by them, so that it will enhance knowledge transfer, so that by the time the system is up and running and their contract ends, we can still continue to use the system. So that there is lot of capacity building training going on. And we are here on TV to prepare the mindset of our taxpayers as to what they expect from some of the reforms G.R.A. is doing, so that they can also prepare so that when it is time to launch this program, they can be at par with us. And also our staff, currently we are also engaging the G.R.A. staff, both customs and all this G.R.A. staff, about the project, the rationale for the project, how the project will work, some of the functionalities, and other related benefits. So these are the programs that we've started doing already in anticipation for the implementation of the system.
So apart from the technical aspects, Mr. Mendy, the issue of knowledge transfer, the issue of building the system to ensure that taxpayers do everything now online, what other benefit is the ITAS bringing apart from that technical aspect we are talking about here, all of that?
Yeah, this is web-based, just like you in here, your accountant here who is supposed to pay tax for the Q group can just log in. Here, you don't need to come to G.R.A. anymore. And then do your filing, and do your payment, and then the receipt is generated automatically, and then you print and keep. So the turnaround time for business will be shortened. There is no queuing anymore. You don't also need to come one-on-one. You just have to get in. If you have internet, you have your mobile, or you have your laptop, or your computer, you can do the rest.
Okay.
Just have I know Q Group is also supplying internet services, so that will not be a problem.
Okay.
Also, paper
Okay.
will be minimized.
Okay.
Because the documents you just scan and offload. You don't need to carry all these documents around and running to go and do your payment. Everything will be online. Also, from our side, no document will be lost, because if it is in paper form and file, somebody can be transporting it or moving from one office to another and misplace it. Or it can be placed on a table, somebody walks in and sees the content of the file, I mean the physical file. But now if it is in the system, you offload, scan and offload these things and then send. The only one with access rights, the person working to check whether what you file is correct or what the payment is done, will be the only one who will see from our side. Not everybody will see.
Okay, so there's some sense of confidentiality.
And security.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those things are there. And ITAS too, like we said, you can do it at any time, even at night. You can do your business, close, go home, and then do your filing and payment at your own convenience.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So I think it is important that we say
and
the
also
same thing.
the records.
Yes.
Like G.R.A. we've been asked for data. So ITAS, there's a department called Technical Services where we are from. They need data sent to GBOS, sent to World Bank,
Yeah,
sent to
I
partners.
think that is very important.
So ITAS, they'll just, if they have the user rights, they'll just go inside, like volume of import, volume of trade, what was a particular business person has done. They'll just pick it out, then prepare a report and send it. ITAS will also connect with a secure wall. And all the volumes of import will also be known, and they can calculate and supply that data. So data access will be easier. So for our staff and our partners.
Yeah. So I think it is important that we say this in the local language, but it seems, Auntie Matu, you want to comment before we...
I just wanted to say that the interfacing, right now we have our system not currently being not connected.
Okay.
But with the iTax, it has that capability of being interfaced with, for instance, with the Asikuda wall, which is the custom system, with the IFMIS, and we have other systems that we intend to interface with, so that is we can exchange information, and that will enhance that will give us great support, because currently sometimes we do some data matching, that is trying to match data from custom and domestic taxes, just to support our compliance efforts. So this currently we are doing it manually, which is very tedious and very slow. But now when we have this these two systems, which are all web-based, it can be interfaced, and then that will give that will strengthen our compliance, our enforcement activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think it is important that we remind the viewers in the local language, just so, because today we are wrapping up this whole program and the ITAS, making sure that they get the right understanding that they need for this project as we prepare for it for 2024, 2025, and then the final phase in 2026. So, Auntie Mati, fi mu nekk dañoo try pour ñu understand ITAS bi su ñëwee yan changes la moo indi pour taxpayers yi nga xamante ne ñu ngi seetaan apart from the technical aspect tamit xëy na the fact ne nit am na dina dem online pour def transactions tamit yan yeneen njëriñ la amal taxpayers yi ak askan bi in general pour taxation gën a yomba taxation processes gën a yomba si biir dëkk bi.
ok jërëjëf Jainaba comme ni nga ko waxee ñu ngi nuyu ñu ñoo seetaan luñ doon waxtaanee ci week yi passé yëpp mooy mbiri iTax muy integrated tax management system système boo xam ne système bu ees la bi nga xam ne moom lañ war a use pour collect domestic revenue domestic taxes revenue because right now over this past years système buñ amoon mooy gam tax net boobu lañ daan use pour collect domestic tax revenue waaye dañ amoon gestu buñ fi defoon ci at yi passé 2018 bi nga xam ne IMF moo ñëwoon support ñu def that assessment pour gestu suñ processus yëpp business process bi yëpp naka lañ ko naka la tëddee so after studies boobu noonu ñu gis ne am na certain gaps yoo xam ne mun nañ koo improve so si la gars yi recommend ne léegi dañ war a change système bi ñu isi beneen système boo xam ne moo gën a yombal affaire yi fay tax si dëkk bi so den buñ defee loolu recommendation boobu dañ ko jëloon ñu dugal ko suñ strategic plan bi strategic G.R.A dañ am always am strategic plan bi nga xam ne mooy guide suñ operations yi so for the 2020-2024 corporate plan bi defoon nañ fa recommendation bi ne dañ war a change gam tax net with another system which is more gën a advance so si loolu parce que gisoon nañ ne pour change système boobu tam dafa soxla woon xaalis bu bari te G.R.A lu ñoo jox suñ subvention bi du mun a dépasse loolu waaw so si boobu si lañ mit suñ donor partners si mooy ñu nga xam ne ñoo dee liggéey ak ñun like World Bank IMF EU the French Development Agency so buñ ko teebulee then the World Bank under the Fiscal Management and Development Project ñoom ñu approve loolu ne dinañu support pour ñu indi système bu ees bi so si loolu lañ nekka ba fu mu nekka sign nañ contract bi ak Sojima Canadian company la waaye nekku ne ñun dañ jël rek taana leen
waaw
dañ ko advertise on yëpp si World Bank website bi si Ministry of Finance website bi te so internationally ñi nga xam ne ñoom am nañ competence in that area ñoom ñoo bidoon so waaye ñu gis ne Sojima ñoo nekkoon di most responsive bidder so ñoom lañ award contract bi they sign nañ contract bi so la nga gis ne léegi suñ lu ñoo séntu mooy ñu ngi war a implement project bi balaa at biñ nekka nii di jeex towards the fourth quarter mooy commencé ko October November December ci la ñoo start di implement project bi so da nga gis ne first phase bi mooy lu ñoo njëkkaa def nekkul ne dañoo build système bi yëpp ba pare ñu door a implement
dañ ko def in
going to be built gradually ñu ko roll out benn so da nga gis ne balaa this year lu mel ni registration for taxes ak TIN tax identification number muy TIN yooyu dafa nekk online services yoo xam ne dinañ ko roll out online services nag soo ko déggee mooy comme lu nga soxla rek mooy nga am sa computer ou sa laptop
am sa internet
den nga toog den nga mun a dugga si système bi nga def sa registration bi lu mel ni filing tamit because filing bi right now bala nga koo def foo nga ñëw G.R.A office before the 15th of the month nga ñëw te yéenay danga gis ne ñeenay dinañ experience some delay dinañ fay xala yaaga because xëy na nga ñëw kiw baa ngi bari te yaa ngi am soxla so waaye dangaa gis ne with the new system du jaraati ngay ñëw G.R.A di rang foofu pour bugg a file sa taxi ak fay bi tam xam nga filing bi ak payment bi yëpp different obligation fay bi tam the same with the iTax dangaa mën a fay online so système bi su doxee daal comme niñ ko bëggee da ngaa gis ne dina yombal affaire yi fay tax bi torop si nga xam ne ñoo dee fay tax waaye balaa loolu yëpp di am nag foog ñu nañ waxtaan ak taxpayers yi ba pare suñ paree launch
su ko defee ñoom ñu xam
lu ñoo expect ñu moo tax ñu moo waral waxtaan bi ñu xam ne ñu ngi war a isi lii ba pare pour prepare seen mind si xam ne G.R.A ñu ngi def ay réforme duñ topp rek ne pam teel nii la so moo tax ñu commencé waxtaan bi ak tax
te nit ñi sañoo oote waxtaan léegi te si dañ si toolu tamit ba nga xamante ne léegi dañoo éduquatante ñun ñëpp ñu understand su ko defee su ñëwee kenn du ne ñun dee moom dafa mel ni lii yëguñ ko woon because fi mu nekk nii moom every Tuesday G.R.A dañoo toog fii nii so fooguma ne ay taas bi moom léegi dina am kuy wax ne xaw ma si dara soo si xamut in depth tamit dégga nga ko place
waaw te su boobaa tam lu la ci leerul rek mun ngaa ñëw suñ office bi den dinañ la leeral la so waaye comme online li fi nii yëpp balaa programme bi di start dinañ ñëwaat def yeneen waxtaan dinañ def yeneen vidéo yeneen démonstration pour woon leen rek ne su startee nii ngeen war a def pour register nii ngeen war a def pour file yëpp nañ ko waxtaane
su ko defee ñu leeralal yëpp Mr Mendy su ko defee nga si soose su ko defee
waaye war ngaa dégg
waaw man danga ma waxoon ne danga maa otal jëkkëri soose di loolu nga ma diggoon waaye ba the whole week maa ngi toog dégguma nga kool ma ne ma nii jëkkër baa ngi nii
déedéet da ngaa ñëw G.R.A kon ñu dal la du faje
biir G.R.A foofu waaw fooguloo da ngaa bias because foofu sa ay jarbaat ñoo fa nekk
déedéet kay rek loo bugga rek boo buggee jaranka
bu ma tuus rek
loo bugga rek
waaw baax na no problème
yo mbaɗi mani ka kam moy laal aliya moyle kacaɓe ñamin nga fo nasara kaŋoto bile be kelen na programme labaŋoto jang min be aitas kaca felana le wala integrated tax administration system o ñing bile be kela la kaca labaŋoti bari wo matina ko G.R.A na programme o te continue la ko nga kenu ñami serum ñinam fanan lafta ka ato fanan tanga kudol kaca bari aitas bilen alabaŋoti kaca ñinto aitas nata ñami wolem sanji sabawo nani o lulu koma nga molle soro minu nata nun kanna tamandir ñajibe ka fo mi ye tadat assessment yaje ko nagam tax net ñing ku jamal le bije min bukata andum banku dol ka samba ñamin dol man futan woto folo so e ñing fenke kon ñanda kan na kol falin na tamar ñin tamanya falin wala adna ñi aitas nat sa nara ñadi le ni minu ka do ko ke minu kam ma ko ka fo mi na partners na strategic plan ya tandiko gamtas net mi ñanda ka falin ka ke aitas ti so nga kenda na corporate strategic plan to sa World Bank aje koy ba fon na nole be koro dilan na so ye ñi advertise ya ke la website to Ministry of Finance wana ya ke la website to so Canadian company ka fo mi so jima wala ganyeta jamal le apply bari wala ganyeta ka wala ñu contrat ko soto pour kanyin aitas development le saying ka fo mi business process ngoda dale fo pareta janni ñi sango be banna mba doman do kula la make everything minala wati kilin kari sabal laban ñing sango kono be trala la nga ye domandinda ramole mimbe registration o kela pour ka business o ñi register no ka tin nomba ñini online ka filing ke online ka fo mi e-filing e-registration e-tin registration fanan abebe kela online so mba doman la wala ñam sanyo min kana 2025 o fanan se doman ni fanan jibe woto 2026 nga doman ni jibe then jani 2026 be banna then nga ta live nga doman fenke ka fo mi rollout pour na official base a use no pour ka min tax fenko keno so mati fana ya fo ko ni yaje lafta kanyi aitas fenan min be kela web base momo namjola si tereno ila office oto ila bungo kono ise batuno fo suuto fan ne laptop o soto o mobile o soto smartphone internet soto den eta kon système o ñi use katin se application o keno pour tin ise application o keno pour registration ise fanan filing keno ise joro keno fanan online yo bara be kala duman no maneti manke ko mena la sai nek e bang yo sa no nyama naje nara pour ka formule saje nan nabe tatila mota fola malong G.R.A sita fo sita nara formule ani wala nan fundidal pour dal se kacha ala barka
Abaraka Bake. Welcome to the program, Mr. Sar, Mr. Mari Sar, who's the tax manager, headquarters functions, domestic tax department. Thank you so much for joining us. I think you're here at the right time when we're actually moving on to the actual subject of today, because we were just giving an overview to the public in relation to the ITAS, considering today is the final program. We're wrapping up, obviously not the last program for G.R.A, but for the ITAS at this moment. So the main discussion today has to do with tax objection and appeal. Last week we were talking about e-filing, which was all clear, you know, tax returns, you know, tax refund and all of that. So now, you know, when there's tax return, tax filing, or where there's any contact when it has to do with money, there's always, you know, appeals and objections to transactions, which is very normal. So, you know, how does this take place? You know, what's the process? And, you know, sometimes, you know, the Commissioner General obviously has the powers sometimes when you are filing to say, oh, this person is late, I'm giving this person some period to actually prepare their filing. You know, if that does not happen when it comes to all of these things, what objections can a person do to what the commissioner has to put on the table as to what it should be done? All of these things comes under the objection and appeal. So how does this happen?
Thank you very much, Jennifer, and good evening to our viewers, our esteemed taxpayers. Like you have rightly said, I came late, but we were doing a similar activity within our offices. So I'm coming from the Brusubi office, but I got caught up. Like you have said, objections and appeals in a tax environment is the dispute resolution mechanism to resolve dispute that exists between the authority and the taxpayers, because we take decisions that may affect taxpayers. And not all those decisions are advised by information, because we at some point may lack information that exists within the taxpayers' business to inform our decisions. So when such happen, the taxpayer has the right to object. In objecting, you are telling the CG that your decision was not correctly made. I think based on my records, this should be the decision. So using the ITAS, you have to submit that electronically. You log into the portal, you go to the request, you will see objections. You select objection, there is a form for it. You complete the form, you attach any relevant document as evidence to back your position that the CG's decision was not correctly made, and you submit. Then when it is submitted, there is a particular section within domestic tax that are going to review your submission. They look at the evidence that you have given, and they come up with an independent decision different from the one that was originally taken, based on evidence that you have provided. So that's the first step of the objection. The second step now is at the tribunal. And the tribunal
there's a tribunal?
Yeah, there's a tribunal. And the tribunal...
It can get serious then.
Yes. There's a tribunal, and there's a final stage that happens at the court. So at the level of the tribunal, the members are appointed by the Minister of Finance.
Independently?
Yes. It is headed by a High Court judge. So it has the level of a High Court judge, a High Court. These people have different backgrounds. There is lawyers, there is tax accountants, there are past G.R.A officials who have experience in tax administration.
Just to ensure diversity.
Exactly. And there is private representation as well. So they will meet on the case after the taxpayer have submitted that he wants them to review the decision of the Commissioner General. They will look at the evidence provided by the taxpayer and come up with their decision. And it's important to emphasize that the tribunal is independent of the authority. The authority has no say or influence on what they do and how they do it. They are totally independent. They take their decision based on evidence that is before them. And once the tribunal have decided, they will communicate to the taxpayer and to G.R.A.
Okay.
And now at that level, both the taxpayer and the authority, G.R.A., has the right, if they are not satisfied with the tribunal's decision, to go to the courts.
Okay.
To request for the courts to review the decision of the
tribunal.
Yes.
So has there been an instant where a taxpayer actually won a case against the Gambia Revenue Authority?
Yes, there has been.
Okay.
But it has to do with, was it request for
Okay.
their banking information?
Okay. You know the reason why I'm asking this,
Yes.
Mr. Sad, is just to ensure that the diversity and the transparency
Exactly.
of the tribunal is there.
Yeah.
Because that is why the G.R.A. decided to set it up, to ensure that you are treating your taxpayers fairly and G.R.A. is also being treated fairly. So the fact that, you know, there's transparency at that level, I think it is very, very important. So, Auntie Mati, comme numa ko waxe won rek fu xaalis am rek ak fu joko am rek sometimes réeroo daf dee mën a am. te loolu su amee nag mu am xëj na sarta yi nga xam ne dañ ko tëral au place bi nga xam ne foofu la nit ñi war a dem suñ fa demee ñu mun a aate si dëgg ak si yoon so ma bëggoon a xam rek nga wax leen appeal bi pour sa taxation naka nga ko dee mën a def because sometimes tamit nga mun a def objection bi nga xam ne commissioner general bi make na ko nga feel ne yow you're not okay with it G.R.A. seen boppa teg ay sarta on your side to ensure na ngeen fair si seen own taxpayers mu nekk lu am solo.
ok jërëjëf Jenaba objection bi objection comme ni nga waxee du ñaaka si liggéey pay tax because sometimes soo defee sa assessment nga ñëw nga ne lii nga war a fay yéene suñ ko gëstoo ñu am yeneen information yéena dinañ daf dee war a xëccoo su ko defee ñu ne la lii nga war a fay waaye sometimes suñ defee assessment yooyu noonu yow tamit loi bi daf la may right mun na doole pour yow tam nga object nga right pour object like currently soo amee looy object within 30 days dangaa binda letter commissioner general waxoo ne seen lii ak lii ngeen def assessment ni d'accord ma si
waaw
so commissioner general daf ko dee refer to am na section boobu ko dee refer under di tax
waaw
pour ñoom ñu review ko waaye with the new tax bi su ñëwee boobu objection yooyu da nga ko def online there is a module soo duggee foofu nga login nga dem objections then nga object to the decision of the commissioner general commissioner nekkul ne commissioner general bi si boppam waaye kuy liggéey G.R.A. rek especially officers yi nga xam ne they deal with tax they are working on behalf of the
waaw dañoo work on moom du directly liggéey ak moom directly obviously
then nga object soo objecté tamit mun ngaa dem object léegi dañ set up àttekaay boo xam ne dafa independent from G.R.A. boo xam ne Ministry of Finance ñoo ko taxawal mu ngi mel ni sax ñu ko tax tribunal yaaga na sax amoon nañ tribunal bañ dissolve loolu noonu
amati yeneen
bañ recently I think it was 3 months ago or so bañ set up beneen boo xam ne ku ko jiite mooy High Court Judge am nañ fa accountant chartered accountant am nañ fa tam suñ retired staff yi nga xam ne am na experience yëfi fay tax ñoom tamit ñu ngi fa si as members of the tribunal so ñoom seen liggéey mooy comme su fekkee ne yow da nga am werante boo xam ne dox na sa diggante ak G.R.A. yow foofu nga war a dem nga lodge sa complaint so ñooñu dinañ toog ñoom tam ñu gestuwaat ko ñu seet den ñu def seen dogal waaye suñ defalee seen dogal bi pare tam su boobaa nag lu amee na G.R.A. tamit ñu object ñoom tam ñu bañ
feena
ñu object taxpayer bi tam mun na object su am na beneen layer boo xam ne war nga faa dem muy court of appeal mun ngaa dem foofu noonu tamit ñu review waat case bi waaye foofu la moo em nag ñoom suñu defar seen
loolu leer na Mr. Mende
léegi soo gisee ñu def nii rek mooy fairness suñ core values yi G.R.A. ñu ne fairness we want to treat our taxpayers fairly so therefore duñ mun a jël rek décision yëpp ñu ko jël war na am independent body boo xam ne ñoom tam mun nañoo dem ñu suu GRA foofu noonu loolu tax ñu set up this tribunal
fairness bi moom am na solo torop ak transparency bi nga xamante ne ñu ngi ko waxtaanee fii nii because man su suma boppa xaw ma woon ne this level of fairness am na at yenn seen level which is very important because comme ni ngeen ko education la pour ñun ñëpp te loolu moo tax tey ñu toog fi pour ñëpp xam ne that there's a sense of fairness bu exist at yenn seen level Mr. Mendy
yow dañu war a jàngal soose de
Mr. Mendy antimati nag doo si wax Mr. Sarr moom saa yu ma ko posé rek saa yu ma ko liyee rek mu xas ma remind ma
dama war a laajte ci soose
baax na daal waaye ñu ngi jéem
ko utal
man xool nga ma accountable ba pare soo ñu ngi jéem
dictionnaire lañ ko utal mbadi maniga kam moy laala liya moy le kacatata ñamin sar ñini kale mo koto dunda dawo da o koro tambira mo fula tema dawo da ño sabo ka tara jele andum fodo e boy do kan yo sa ning aussi fal sotota anyada ka kenyadil folo loi landi nya avot act ya landi nyami commissioner general o ay di nowal ministre londi pour yo kol doku na traité système o ko na tax système ko itel nyanda ka safe e jalle fir e jalle soto be jalle jol ni mo oke loi fana sembo di commissioner general nala di nowal ya jibe yela kol kiski ko be nyine jol yo na tara okeda wala inata fana ko be nyine jola malla nga kiskisi nga tax auditor kije ya jibe e ko nyine ko hani sa e ba sa fa la commissioner general yale within tilitan sabo wujo kono ka fo ale nyinki nan kanne ko me nyine jola bari ndemalla ndela na recordo le atandi nyamin ko me nyine jola yo commissioner general nala dile ba jibe lale na tare sonta ote be safelale ko aka kenyami sanyi ko le foale ani system kuto nata vitala system okonole yeta dulami aka fo objection yo fomo download ya fil ya tandi ale nyin kinya bari ndemalla dene lo kaytol kumal be fenke scan sen system o nyin kono na dunda rek G.R.A mbajelal na molba jibelale ni pareta ibe tamkulal fanan tilitan sababu chokono ko yemin objection o minke sidal nga jibe bar nyinnem natara yemin foye ame ejuso nyabuno wala ame nyafa oto sitano karadola koten wolen tax tribunal nyen tax tribunal nak anin G.R.A man fenso
independence
amantaran na do kudula fang Minister of Finance ole ya lo comme ivat act ya fo nyam loi ya landi nyam ko molto mom ya lon ko bimbe talle kunna ole be kila high court judge mais loi karang no sa o ole be nyin timo nyim marala ikono accountant fula bi jele mi alon ko ibe fansun do ko la ni G.R.A man fensot chartered accountant ole yele on business osot abe kono fanan lawyer mi alon ka fanan bala on practice len fanan business o abe kono fanan mo mi alon ko ay do ko anene do ko ke G.R.A fa retired yo bari mi bela boss mo jojolti high court judge le so iba sambala wolto fanan yesi ya jibe ne kitiyo kundu fanan annum ite fanan hanika bi ameji so mutano isitano court of appeal wala labamoti and court of appeal ndolnga min lonje wala ñu sabobe kela on point of law doronne yo so nata fanan ñing tax tribunal ye kitiyo kundu nyami nin G.R.A fanan malla ya je ko ndo fana hani amman kuma ben so to fana e right so to le kata court of appeal
object
so abe larin tenne ila ni tribunal ni o court of appeal ni man fen so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So due to time constraints, we'll just quickly also look at e-tax clearance processing quickly, because I think we just have 10 minutes to go.
Yes.
You know, tax clearance certificates, and you know, with the e-system, you know, what changes is this particular tax clearance going to take?
In fact, I think this one will be the best one, or one of the best. Everything is good, but this one is one of the best.
Yes.
Because at the end of the year, or at the beginning of the year, you notice that our offices are full with people who are requesting for clearance for their business, for clearance for their vehicles. And we have to do this manually. Everyone that comes, you have to write, sign, stamp, give you.
The period of day, it's normally, you know, clearance, you know.
Now
It's a tedious, congested process
now
normally.
with this system,
Yes.
you can do it online.
Yes.
And if the system detects that you have fulfilled all the requirements,
Yes.
it can generate the clearance automatically and send it to your email.
And you just print it.
Yes. You
And
don't have
that's
to
it.
come to our office or talk to any G.R.A. staff.
Wow.
Where you have some missing information, then somebody will be assigned that case to review,
help.
and they may contact you
Okay.
to come and fulfill what is missing.
All right. And there will be an e-platform, like you
Exactly.
mentioned,
Yes.
that will be for this. So because of,
Everything will be
due to
online.
time constraints, we'll just also head right on to tax agency as well. You know, how someone registers as a tax agent through the e-registration platform quickly.
Thank
we
you
have
very much.
a few minutes to go.
Agents are people that represent taxpayers for their tax obligations.
Yes.
So we want to regulate them. There is a regulation that is drafted and is submitted to the Ministry of Finance for review and approval. But on the system, there will be a platform where they will have to register as agents.
Okay.
And they will also have to tell us who their taxpayers are.
Okay.
Which taxpayers have appointed them to represent them.
Okay, so now it's not just going to be any person calling themselves an agent, but then directly representing a corporation or an individual business.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair enough.
And the taxpayer have to appoint them.
Okay.
So
and give you a directive to say
Exactly.
this person is appointed.
So we'll link their accounts. If you as an agent, you log in and you are representing Matty and Henry, you'll be accessing Matty and Henry's profile
only,
so that you'll help them profile and comply with their tax obligations.
Okay.
Everything is automated.
All right. So Auntie Matty, quickly, ñu dem si tax clearance bi ak tamit nekk tax agent bi nga xam ne Mr. Sarr mu ngi wane léegi dañ leen bëgg a regulate in a way ne ñu represent properly nu war a demee waaye clearance bi daal daf dee xaw a jaxasoo ku nekk rush hour la dee nekk
clearance bi su jotee clearance mooy wane ne fay nga sa tax yëpp amee loo jaaree tax o def nga agreement boo xam ne nangu too boo xam ne yaa jaaree pour sa yëfi tax bi nga ju so clearance bi nag lu am solo la because dañ ko dee soxla ci lu bari sax comme like su fekkee da nga bëgg a def business sax dañ laa laaj loolu sooy def sa motor vehicle license yenn yi sax sooy uti visa nga ne da ngaa dem business trip o soo bëggee taxaw élection yu bari dañ ko link ak clearance bi so clearance bi moom right now xam nga ni nga ko dee waxee ni kiw moo fa dee nekk pour foog ñu vérifier seet ndax fay nga lu nga war a fay yëpp balañ laa clear waaye with the new system dafa nekk loo xam ne ko automate soo amee suñ la profile rek soo demee si portal bi nga dem foofu tax clearance soo download o nga dem online nga fiil ko su fekkee ne ameewuloo dara benn liability dañ ko approve rek da am nañ electronic signature yoo xam ne moom faa nekk ñu signal la rek den ñu seen la ko sa email bi yow nga dem nga print
léegi agency nag
agency moom comme yaa xam nga fu mu nekk agency like customs seen agency dañ leen regulate because bala nga nekk clearing agent foog nga am ay sarta yoo mit su ba pare every year da nga apply pour nekk agent ñu approve committee bi
renew waat ko
committee bi mi review ko den ñu renew ko léegi am na ñoo xam ne duñ dañoo reject duñ ne renewal
because of irregularity
waaw so bu tax department bi tam noonu nañ ko bëgg a def ku nekk rek moo mun a jóg rek ne dama nekk agent waaw agent am na criteria yuñ set up yoo xam ne loolu nga apply den suñ ko approuvé
mu dem waaw Mr. Mendy fi mu nekk nii moom fanaa 2 minutes rek lañ dese
yo tax clearance nag sañi aɓe kelaten aka keñamin sañi wala mi bitala le ya apply ya fenke ya stamp ya dila bari sañi ni système o starta e bitala système o ñine kono ya apply through the system natara namo te kunna kotenge sistema ba purflale ya kiela email oto ite a print akumata le pour ngan kanna namol jo sa yen se clearance oto no arete lola no député yala wala président ya iman clearance oto visa ni man clearance oto dol ke nyini kale ani scholarship fund sayin bantala ike nyini kale ni ko bita business trip la ike nyini kale fo bota bango min de kana mo jol so nyanda ko be jibele nga fen yo ay do fana nyini ka wala agent solti nali ajibe ni bagasol bonni banda ka dunina Gambia ibuka bonni no poroto iman clarin agent ota ya bondi sa fana lafta ko wala soto pour tax agent sol fana gamol jire tare ke go ha ndelebe lota hendre sa ba luako nga ngi register with G.R.A fenne bi sartole bi jebe ani kaytol be min fela nan committee ajibe ni sonda ye register pour soma nin ku nata ke nzalo loi be busala nyam
so Mr. Sarr, quickly, final words. Today marks the last program for the ITA, but obviously we'll have more consultations on here towards it, but final words, we have a minute to go.
Hopefully we have funds to come back again.
Hopefully. I'm looking forward to that.
Just to tell taxpayers, this was just a high-level sensitization. When we come to implementation, we'll come and tell them each of these functions, how they go about it, so they can fully comply. And we'll always be there to support them.
Sure.
Okay. Comme Marie ko waxee rek fu mu nekk nii bi mooy first phase sensitization bi waaye suñ demee implement dinañ ñëwaat leeral ko leeral bu nekk naka ko war a defee.
Okay. Mr. Mendy.
Yo wato en jam faale ñin na last programme de ay tas to bari ning jandeng programme o ñu fombe stade la na système o ñin janimba ngela pour mole at tamani minala ko tenge karan bari mbal dan la minal na mo jo saje Gambia ta ñaato ala barka bak.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mendy. Pay your taxes to help build the nation. And thank you so much to the G.R.A team for choosing QTV to actually be part of the sensitization process of the ITAS. We're looking forward to more partnerships. And then these programs are online. We've been doing this. This is like the fourth and final program for the ITAS. So if you're just tuning in today, you can go as far back as last month to actually go back and watch the beginning of this particular program to understand step by step the ITAS and the different components of the ITAS. I'm looking forward to another show on this particular topic. Thank you so much. Auntie Mati, Mr. Mendy and Mr. Sarr, thank you so much for joining us, and do not forget to stay tuned for the 8 p.m. news. Thanks for watching.